Welcome to another installment of 5-Minute Licks. On today's video, I want to show you how to break out of your pentatonic boxes. I'm going to show you what I call the minor pentatonic phrasing shape and a little improvisational game that you can play when you're practicing to generate longer, more musical phrases. Let's dive straight in. Now, I'm sure most of you are probably very familiar with at least one of the so-called box shapes for the minor pentatonic scale. If you're not, this is the first shape in the key of A minor. You're going to be playing fret 5 on all 6 strings, and you're either going to be reaching up to fret 8 or fret 7. So 2 notes per string. It's something like this. Now, this particular box is used in so many classic rock guitar solos and a bunch of not so classic solos as well. It lets you do this stuff really easy. What I see a lot of beginner and intermediate players struggle with, though, is when they want to use a pattern like this to improvise over rock or blues changes. And in my opinion, having taught this a lot, I think it boils down to consistency between the notes that we're playing and the intervals in the scale and the fingers that we're using to play them. For example, in that box shape, I play the root note in the low octave with my pointer finger, but then I'm playing it in the middle octave with my ring, and then in the high octave with my pointer finger again. Something like the 5th degree of the scale, in this case the E note, I first play it with my ring finger, and then in the higher octave, I'm playing it with my pointer finger. So we can get around this and have a fingering that would be more in line with, say, the way a piano player would learn a scale, where you learn an octave shape, and then you just shift that shape up and down with the exact same fingering. All we're going to do is take the minor third, so that's C note in the key of A. Instead of reaching all the way up to it, we're going to play the root note A with our ring finger on the low string. Then I'm going to play C, D, and do a position shift to E. So that's fret 3, 5, and then a position shift to fret 7. And you could hear there comparing the 2 note per string fingering with this phrasing shape, as I'm going to call it, gives you the exact same notes. We'll finish off the octave by playing fret 5 and fret 7 on the D string. So we get this very convenient fingering. There are no gaps of more than 2 frets in here. There is a position shift, but it feels really nice under the fingers. And each time we play the root note, it's with our ring finger. What's great about that is we can then just use the exact same fingering in every single octave that we play. Let's start on fret 7 of the D string. This is another A, and it's going to be the same pattern once we compensate for the B string. So we're going to have the 7th fret on the D string, then it's 5, 7, 9 on the G, and then 8, 10 on the B. Encourage you to try the same thing starting on the A string at fret 12. Once you do this a few times, you can really clearly see the pattern, and you just outline, hey, there's my low octave A and there's my higher octave A. This also looks pretty cool when you play it, which is like 70% of the appeal of playing rock guitar, right? You're going from as low as the 3rd fret all the way up to the 17th fret. So I'm going to call that the phrasing shape, and we can play a little phrasing game with these patterns. What I want you to do is just try and come up with a little 3 or 4 note phrase, whatever falls under the fingers nicely, something like this. Really straightforward. And what we're going to do is play the exact same notes with the same fingering down an octave and then up an octave. You can find it in different spots on the neck like that. Then what you're going to do is you are either going to ascend or descend the scale. So you're going to play the little 3 or 4 note phrase that you've come up with. You've just improvised a very small chunk, and then you're going to process it by playing the scale, either ascending or descending, and then answering that initial phrase with the exact same set of notes an octave higher or lower. So if I started in the middle and went low, it would be this. I might try something else like this and go up higher. Now you can spin that out into an entire system that works really well for improvising longer phrases, rather than trying to improvise, say, 3 or 4 bars of music and making your brain work really hard. You just try and improvise a little generating phrase, and then you stick it into this pattern. Each time you go through an octave, you can try and play that pattern again. So this works not just as a tool to play cool rock guitar licks, this can be a great musical approach as well. And in my opinion, can really help improve your musicality and your musicianship, all from just changing one note in the way we play a pentatonic scale. If you like this approach, let me know in the comments section below, and I will do some more videos on how we can take these shapes and use them as improvisational tools and tools to generate your own distinct licks and vocabulary. If you like what I'm doing here, links to support me via my Patreon and the music that I make with my band Ragdoll. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.